Guten Tag und Willkommen to the Foundry Roundtable LivePlay of the newest featured episode for Star Trek Online. I'm, of course, your TAM Foundry author, Drogan1701, and with me is my usual cohort of cast members, Markhawkman, Greendragoon, and DuncanIdaho.
Greetings.
Hello.
Hello.
And I did completely, or almost completely, exhaust my knowledge of German there with that three-word opening. So that's all the German I know, except for Schnell.
Ist gut.
Ja, das ist, das war nicht sehr gut, aber gut.
You don't sound all that confident with that.
No, but because my level of German right now is basically preschooler, or at best.
Yeah.
But I did take 3 classes.
I took some French. I've forgotten most of it.
I forgot all of it, and that was after I basically while I was in French.
Well, lucky for us, the Lucari speak English. So, or at least, we got universal translators here. Because what we're going to do tonight is do a live play of the newest featured episode, which is called Echoes of Light.
Why no? This is not ominous foreshadowing.
They're starting a new plot thread, a new season with a mission called Echoes.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like I did.
Well, a new start to a new story arc.
Yep.
So of course it's going to have foreshadowing. It's probably completely all foreshadowing. So, but anyway, obviously we are coming to you after the update called Artifacts, which is the first major update post Agents of Yesterday. In it includes the lighting update, which I think is fantastic. Obviously, I think there's definitely some few maps that might still need a bit of work.
Yeah, when it works right, it's great.
Yes.
If it works right.
It also includes a new fleet holding, which actually we'll be able to show off for you a little bit later in the course of our live play of this episode. We'll explain why later on if you're not familiar with that part of it. Let's see. Help me out here. What else? The kit revamp.
Yes.
So kits work a little bit differently now. You can you basically slot the kit frame and the kit modules independent of each other, and you get 5 slots for 5 kit modules right off the bat, right?
Yeah, and it's for all levels, all characters, and you no longer have to worry about the 2 different subtypes for engineering, tactical, and science. Yes. So you've got a lot more flexibility. And you can now upgrade things, both for kits and modules. The upgrading kit modules is kind of the biggest part of this, and those require ground upgrades. So not even a new thing you have to level. It's just, hey, if you have ground R&D skill, or basically EC in the exchange, you can go ahead and pick up those super awesome abilities. And the one note on upgrades is that anything you got from the lockbox is basically already upgraded in terms of rarity. You just need to upgrade the level a little bit. The one thing you cannot upgrade are the specialization modules. Because there's already sort of the rarity factor with those guys. So, yeah, it's basically, there's a very firm distinction between white, green, blue, and very rare built into the specialization system. So they're kind of more restricted. They're more restricted than everything else. As far as everything else goes, it's all good stuff.
Well, one thing about that's going to be annoying is that it now means you can't get Mark 14 spec modules.
Not yet, at least.
See, because that's one of the things that I was mentioning earlier is that now I can take my old, random kits that were, low-level things but useful, and upgrade them to Mark 14 and get massive damage.
There's plenty of options, though.
Yeah,
so
you can do that, but as long as they're not from the specialization.
yeah, what I've got right now on this character is Mark 13. I haven't gotten 14 yet on this one, but Mark 13 exothermic reaction, and then Mark 13 cold fusion flash. So yeah, I'm basically a wizard.
Now I had it in my head.
You were already a wizard.
That's true.
The difference is that now you're a more powerful wizard.
Yes. So I had it in my head that kit mods only go up to Mark 13. Is that not correct?
They go to 14. I got
14.
that on my Federation main.
Okie dokie.
Yeah. This is going to make the ground battle zone a little bit more interesting because now the damage ceiling has been raised for the Dyson ground battle zone. So I was already able to get to the point where I was like, I can kind of solo a V-Rex, but now it's like, ooh, that's actually a lot more achievable now.
I imagine.
Yeah.
That scales you back to 50. That scales you back to 50, right? But
it scales you back to 50, but
nerf your abilities that much.
Yeah, exactly. So all the upgrades do sort of carry on over there. So and it's the fact too that these abilities you can make those more powerful. And there's some on science, for example, that do really well in that environment because you're reducing damage resistance a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one thing to remember is that you're always going to be more powerful because you have more abilities, even if the actual power level of your abilities is somewhat reduced.
So, obviously, the Foundry is down. We are going through a maintenance cycle for this update. We don't really know how long it's going to be down for. The usual average time we used to give was 3 weeks, but the last time they did it really fast. But this time, I don't know, they might have to do some more specific work because of the lighting update. I don't know that for sure.
Yeah, the way I understand it, they're updating all of the lighting in the Foundry as well as the rest of the game. So, no telling.
Yeah. At the very least, they said it would be an extended period. And
yes, they did.
Have not
it does say
quantified
extended.
that.
And also it does
And
mention the lighting system specifically.
It does. Which is what led me to believe that maybe there's some behind the scenes work going on. But we will see. In the meantime, obviously, there's plenty of the game to play. However, we would be remiss if we didn't talk a little bit about, this has been a little bit of a rocky launch. Now, luckily, the servers have stayed up. It wasn't one of those. But there's been quite a number of bugs that came along with this update. People would log on and their kit modules will have completely disappeared, whereas they're supposed to go right into your inventory so you could reslot them if you wanted.
I had the foresight to unequip all of mine ahead of time, and I did not have this issue.
Yeah.
I did on a few of my characters. It seemed to happen primarily to the characters that I had logged out on a space map.
Yeah, so there's that automatic process. It's just that sometimes when you logged on recently, it didn't trigger. So as the PSA for that one, if you see that problem, just change your map a few times. Go to a ground map, go to a space map. Just keep moving around between maps.
And
eventually it's going to load up correctly.
Or go to a ground map and then switch to your bridge and back again a few times.
Yeah.
What worked for me every time was being down to a ground map, being back up to a space map. Worked perfectly every time.
Yeah.
Now, I've seen some people say that hasn't worked for them. Hopefully, Cryptic will be working on a solution. I did get some patch notes, but I don't think that was mentioned.
I have heard many people
that one wasn't.
They had to do it repeatedly and not just once.
Yeah. Well, what is mentioned, which is a good fix, thankfully, is they resolved, this is for tomorrow, they resolved an issue where players with certain Intel and AMD cards were not seeing most in-game text. I believe you had that one, didn't you, Duncan?
Yep, I had that one. And starting the game in safe mode was what fixed it for me. Yes. So that was a really good fix. Very much.
Well, I knew about that one because
I should try starting in safe mode on my old laptop. Might help.
Yeah.
Yeah, safe mode is definitely something to try when you're troubleshooting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one thing I'm experiencing now that's not listed so far is that occasionally when I'm transferring to a very popular map, like Earth, Space, Ground, or the game will freeze during loading. So that's something I'm seeing, and I'm having to relog on every time that happens. I successfully make it to the map in that case, but that is an additional problem.
And it could be something exacerbated by the heavier load.
Yeah. That's what I'm figuring, because it only happens on those two maps. And if I'm like, oh, I want to do my basic maintenance stuff, I'm going to go to the Delta Quadrant commands.
I've also heard that the fix-up scripts that they tend to use for the things like the kit module conversion are server intensive. So that may also be increasing such occurrences.
Well, there's a number of other bugs that are still going on, of course, and hopefully they will get those fixed. I mean, one of them that I've seen is that the lighting update seems to be resetting a number of graphics options for people, including one that makes it so that some people are defaulting at a lower resolution. Your normal resolution scale is at 1, and they're coming in at like 0.5 or something like that, half scale. The render scale. That's the word I'm looking for.
It also has this odd tendency to reset a bunch of settings that have absolutely nothing to do with graphics.
It does, like your camera thing.
Yeah, I don't understand why it did that, but it did that.
Sorry, I just got a retweet or a favorite on a tweet that I tweeted about a TV show from the actress that's in the show. That's not usual. Not for me, anyway. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get started on our mission here. This is Echoes of Light.
Oh, hold on.
First of a new story arc. Basically, the Lucari are asking us to assist them in doing some exploration. They're, of course, a newly warp-capable species, and they want to get out and about in the galaxy.
Actually, playing on our KDF tunes today.
We are. And as usual, we'll probably spend a lot of the episode wandering about, looking at things and saying, oh, how we would love to have that in the Foundry.
One map specifically.
Think of at least a couple. But,
there's a few assets, yeah.
Because all of us have played this before, I should mention.
If we are with the Lucari, we can find honor.
There's actually a few specific things that I want more than the rest of it.
And see if the Lucari have the strength
to
become worthy allies. Serve the Empire well.
Be interesting because I played this on my Federation tune before, so I haven't done it as a KDF officer.
I actually played it on my temporal recruit character, which playing it on a temporal recruit gives you a different set of dialogue options.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it actually has special dialogue for temporal recruits.
There's a number of things that are sort of tailor-made in this mission that I believe have some new tags that we haven't seen before. There's one quite late in the mission where it gives you, it refers to the name of your fleet.
Which might be awkward for some fleets.
Suddenly the name of your fleet matters. That's okay. We should... Frederick can start selling fleet rename tokens.
My dear friend,
another thing that's interesting is that it's the first appearance of an NPC Nandi.
Also true.
Oh, yeah.
We've arrived at the Lucari system, Admiral. Their civilization hails from a moon orbiting a nearby gas giant. I'm reading their starship in a standard orbit there. I'm picking up some comm traffic. Sounds like they're in the middle of a discussion with a Ferengi daemon.
A certain daemon that we know and would like to stop knowing.
Yeah.
What? You? I thought I'd seen the last of you.
Welcome, proud Imperial warriors. I am Daemon Mark
We meet again.
Madrid, the sole owner of trading rights in this system. My Lucari friends and I were just in the middle of some delicate negotiations, but I'm sure I can spare a little time if you'd like to make a trade deal.
Unnecessary. Our business
I'm
is
sure we
with
can reach
Lucari
an
today,
agreement that is
Damon.
to everyone's liking.
I guess Romulans get a different dialogue
prepared
option.
To offer you an exclusive once
The,
in a
the
lifetime
KDS
I'm on
one
a
is,
opportunity.
we're not here to trade, Diamond. Our mission concerns Lucari.
You guys reading from
Oh, come now. I'm sure we can reach an agreement that is to everyone's liking. I am prepared to offer you an exclusive, once-in-a-lifetime investment opportunity.
Oh,
Cut the channel. Hail the Lucari. Now we shouldn't mention that this is voice acted, so we really don't need to read. Unless the
You know,
comes up.
one thing that I found interesting is that in the Cut the Channel one, it actually has your bridge officer's name.
That's one we don't get.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say, I'm gonna have to raise you cryptic for writing for a second. Once you guys are finished with this one. Because I may have skipped ahead. I looked at the optional dialogue, and of course it would be in the optional dialogue.
That's
what they named Lucari's
We were
group.
forced to leave our dying homeworld of Kentar. It was a difficult journey for us. Once we found our new home, no one was very excited about space travel. Recently, our home star was nearly extinguished by the Tholians. That led many of us to realize that we can't just sit at home anymore. We must be ready to face the galaxy on our own terms. The Exploration Initiative passed, and we purchased and modified the ship you see before you.
This
The
isn't over.
LSS
Believe me.
Concordium.
The next
Based on my experience
will
as an
be on
administrator
my
and
turn.
scientist, I was chosen to command her. It was an honor I accepted with pride and humility. Our ship is ready to go, and you are.
I may have accidentally completed the
Our main
next
voyage,
objective.
I've chosen a star that is close
Well,
enough
Yeah, I
to
heard the
within reach,
ticking
but still
sound.
just outside the area of space that
I didn't
you've
think it would
explored.
complete for you
And
guys.
obviously one that we haven't visited yet. According to your star charts, it's a yellow-white star called 20 Draconis.
All right. Proceed.
Going to 20 Draconis.
So the thing I had to rage about was the fact that my primary species in Starfleet Security, I just renamed them the Ibi Concordance, and they've named the Lucari the Concordium. Gah!
We've arrived on the outskirts of the system. There's a large field of rocky debris and asteroids. We're picking up various metals and crystalline formations.
Administrator
Should we approach
using the
one of the
Type
larger
5.
asteroids and take some more readings?
The Type 5 female head. Just mocking me now. No, I'm not paranoid.
Even the nose detail.
Well,
looks
one thing
simple.
I took note of is the model of vessel used for the Concordium.
It's one of the generic ships we have in the Foundry.
It's something we've seen before.
In Star Trek
It's a generic
animation.
science ship.
Wow, my ship is super pink right now.
Yeah, that is
Wow.
one of the bugs that's going on. What is certain hull materials?
I think it's
or actually,
great
it's
because
it's the Riemann shield is what it is.
yeah, the for what
I
you got going on right
think
there,
so.
it's.
Like-
I was just gonna say
I think
it's
the Intel materials do it too.
yeah, both the Klingon ships are doing
Readings
that.
coming in now.
So I'd say it's
Large
the
quantities of
Futurama
silicate,
version of the Klingon
hematite, cadmium,
aesthetic.
Iridium. Crystalline structures appear to be the result of deposits created under a heavy impact. Perhaps this asteroid was part of a larger one that broke up in a collision. Heading deeper into the field may yield more clues. Sensors are picking up some
Sure, let's go
movement
deeper.
on the far side of the asteroid.
You know, one thing that gets brought up in here is something that I don't remember ever seeing in a Star Trek episode, but hey. New stuff is part of exploration, right?
Do
Exactly.
you have any information about them?
I don't know if I should complete the objective.
Patience, young Padawan.
They're called Gekli. We're sending you data files on them now.
Intriguing.
See, the amusing part is that that's exactly the same for a KDF guy and an TOS guy.
And, it seems an adjustment of our EM band is in order. I don't like the idea of the Concordian becoming a Gekli food source.
We're adjusting our EM band down to 0.002 cycles as well.
We've adjusted our power systems. I'd like to gather more data on the Gekli before we move on. Any suggestions?
We could tag them with subspace data transmitters.
An excellent idea. We'll be able to track their movements and learn more about their migratory patterns and feeding habits. We'll need to get close in order to attach the tags safely.
Agreed. Get close to the Gekli and attach the tags with minimal force and harpoons.
Yeah, Klingons, we do not know the words of meaning. Minimal
We're
force.
whalers in space. We're whalers in space.
That'd be the white Gekli.
Data's coming in from the Gekli. I'd like to expand the number of tagged subjects
I like-
to optimize data collection. Let's get close enough to slip in with a
You know, you could
pod
almost do
and
a
join
Moby
them
Dick
in
style
their
Foundry mission
swimming.
with the Gekli, because we have them.
Right, we'll fly to the Gekli pod and join them as they swim through space.
And now we observe the Gekli in its natural habitat.
Look how they mock the cameraman.
We're getting
Now,
close
it
up
just
readings
occurred
from
to me
all
that my
the
ship is
creatures.
bigger than the Gekli are.
Mine's
All
way
of those
bigger.
They're treating us like one of their own.
Oops, somebody
They're
got too
trying
close.
to talk to us with their radio waves. That was incredible. What a singular experience. We've spotted a larger group of them in an area not too far from here. This looks like a feeding ground for several Gekli pods. Let's go have a look.
Yep, that experience was definitely single.
Very well, Helm, take us to the Gekli feeding grounds.
I have to say, I'm not entirely sure this mission is the best to do with a team.
Probably
It's just
not.
us, just all watching the various nice scientific objectives. It
Great
gets
soul
better.
immersion.
You know,
I can
polish
think
is
of
not
one
something that we
aspect of
promise
this
on
that
the
will
show.
go. I can think of one thing that will go faster as a team.
There are signs that several Gekli pods frequent this area. There's a lot of dust and particulate matter, but we can't see how the asteroids are getting broken down. I think there's something we're not seeing on the visible spectrum. Your ship has a stronger deflector than ours. Can you emit a particle wave? We could use that to illuminate things that might be happening in different spectra.
If you do not wish to harpoon the Gekli, we can emit a multispectral particle wave.
Technically, my disruptors are particles, and they're being emitted.
And if we fire enough, it'll be a wave.
There's some kind of subspace shearing here. It's causing cosmic strings to snap off and break up the asteroids. That must be why the Gekli feed here. There's plenty of particulate matter for them to consume in the debris fields. I think we've collected some solid data here. We're ready to move on when you are.
One thing I thought of when I looked at this is that, remember how it mentioned something about how the asteroid that we saw at the beginning had gotten broken up by something? Yeah. Maybe it was that.
Yeah, the cosmic stringy thingy.
Who here thought this mission was going to turn into your ship being struck by a cosmic string?
I thought about it for a second, but I figured that it probably wasn't the way to go. I was just waiting for someone to attack.
Because
That's
it's
all-
stealth, and that's how it's structured.
This is the longest anything has gone right.
Period of about 173 of your standard years. I'd like to know if they came from outside of the system and were caught in its gravity, or if they originated here. Shall we take some scans?
Yes, I love scanning.
Life form,
This comet is mostly ice and dust. There are indications that the cometary matter formed around a magnetic core. The other comets may be more interesting. Let's move to the other comets and study them closely.
Agreed.
Let's check out the remaining comments.
I was kind of hoping for a sarcastic Vulcan answer to that one, considering Enterprise.
Gee, comets. Yay.
Yes, I've only seen 500 of those. But let's
Vulcan
look
Science
at another one.
Directorate does not believe in comets.
What I find funny is that this is all the exploration that everyone has been begging for.
How much you want to...
This is what the Enterprise did when it was exploring.
When I logged on to the forums while I was waiting to actually have the chance to play this, because it was a busy day yesterday, the first thread I saw was, wow, what a bland mission.
This is what you people get. Enough exploration for you? Now go back to shooting Borg.
Now, I want to be clear on something. I don't agree with that statement.
No,
I don't think this is a bland mission.
I
quite like this mission.
It amuses me greatly.
Yeah. For me, it's still not my favorite. Like, Spheres of Influence definitely takes that. But this is very up there for me.
I think Capture the Flag is still my favorite.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
Magcora must be helped to draw in the material that forms the coronas.
I'm just waiting, though, on this mission. They did refer to the Lucari Exploration Initiative. I'm just wondering if they're going to take Alliance from us. Because
This would not bother me.
No, it wouldn't. It's like, wait, do we have to do a read right now? Wait, actually, it wouldn't really bother anyone except me, who I've got 4 or 5 missions.
Well, one question that popped up into my head about this, and I didn't actually go and look it up, but what's a Class A planet?
The planet is radiating a considerable amount of heat for its size.
I can go look that up. I got the star charts.
Probably an uninhabitable rock.
I think not uninhabitable rock. Maybe with lots of acid. That's...
A for acid.
Yeah, but that's actually a Class Y planet.
Are we talking like acid or LSD?
A Class A planet is geothermal. Age between 0 to 2 billion years. Between 1,000 and 10,000 kilometers. It's basically a planet where it's partially molten. I'm guessing
now it's time to go
Stowe
take a
devs
look
also
at the
look to the...
I think they also have star charts, which we know they do because they base the new sector space on it.
Well, one thing I noticed that's amusing is that when you're looking at this planet from a distance, it's transparent.
For you.
Yeah.
Driving speed.
Play with different graphic settings, of course.
Hey, question. What do you guys see when you look at the planet on the map? Because what I see is a circle with a bunch of holes missing.
Yeah, I see that too.
Yeah.
There they are.
That isn't an issue anymore.
Magnificent, aren't they?
Also, the collision geometry on the planet is a lot larger than the planet.
The creatures are luminescent ovoids? I'm not sure how to describe them. They remind me of an aquatic life form native to Lucari Prime. There are little ones huddling close to the planet's atmosphere. They must use the heat and the planet's electrical discharges to survive.
They're a type of Nidarian. We're sending you the files now.
Interesting. These life forms were encountered by the USS Enterprise D on Deneb 4, someplace called Farpoint Station. They haven't been seen anywhere else since. You shouldn't harm them or their young.
We'll move close and transmit a greeting to the Cosmozoans.
The color display must
come in
be a
peace.
form
Shoot
of
to kill.
communication.
Are you guys seeing a giant green box when you do that?
No. I think it's something that's like the, somewhat similar to a healing effect.
So much to see.
Let's
head to the next planet in the system and see
And
what's
warp
there.
out, I guess.
Yeah. The one writing criticism I would have had for that, it's like the Lucari, it's like they're native, they're like an oceanic life form native to our planet. It's like, yeah, we got them too. I would have said aerial life form. The Lucari,
They're jealous.
aliens. They're aliens. It could be floaties.
So they have aerial jellyfish on Lucari. Is that what you're saying?
Yep, they're filled with hydrogen or helium.
We do actually have plants that are kind of like seaweed that floats in midair.
Yeah.
We even have them as foundry props.
So yeah, I would have gone a step further and include the other spacefaring life form that we saw in Star Trek, which is the telepathic pitcher plant.
Yeah, Gumtooth.
They should all be in,
yeah, that
one.
and
Gomtu as well. You know, although he was actually a starship.
Yeah,
Sort of a living starship.
Cosmozoans were a little bit like that too.
Yeah. But you know, obviously they all should exist in this one system. All these different types.
This was a recent event.
That's my sarcasm
Some kind
for the
of
day.
proto-matter incident happened, and it wiped out all life on the planet. I think we should send an away
My
team
criticism
down to
right
learn
now
more.
is that I suspect my future self has gone back in time and become a cryptic writer, and he isn't doing a very good job compared to me. I'm not getting more and more paranoid, I swear.
It has a breathable atmosphere and lies well within the system's
there you go.
habitable zone. Most curious.
Uh-oh, a proto-matter explosion.
Oh, I somehow looped.
Thought if you know how to resolve the chaotic turbulence with a tarfine reduction. This was a recent event. Some kind of proto-matter incident happened, and it wiped out...
Blue, red, red, red.
Oh, did somebody make a sphere builder?
Looks like it.
tried.
I think he did a really good job on that.
I posted a picture on Twitter last night, and I said that I thought it maybe turned out a little bit more like the librarian from Halo 4 than a sphere builder.
I see
That's
some
still good.
carvings on those canyon walls. Let's take a look.
That pillar on the canyon wall looks interesting.
I won her armor.
Yeah, I think I've heard a lot of people say that.
It really seems to me it's like, yeah, this is the next reputation armor.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
You know what my very first impression when I looked at that armor is that, oh, man, she has like a high-tech white tree of Gondor on her breastplate there.
I'm just
like,
seeing
yes,
what's
I
in
want that.
this side of the canyon.
One thing I noticed about this map is that it's a very simple map that, you know, with the story in mind, it's actually a very effective way of keeping you from wandering too far.
Yeah, this is.
I mean, you know,
this was
keep
definitely
you from wandering too far. I always follow objectives only.
Look, there's some kind of large
walls of the
structure
canyon
further down the
were
canyon.
by tools.
I'm sure of it. Sentient life forms lived here until the proto-matter detonation. This pillar here, it seems to be a sign pointing to that canyon. Perhaps a pathway there leads to a settlement of some kind. I'm reading metallic objects there as well. Shall we take a look?
Follow the path through the canyon.
How could we not take a look at this point?
I mean, it's kind of why we're here, you know.
Look at the size of that plaza.
Okay,
I have to
let's
say,
just get this out of the way. Let's
These
just get
people
this out of the
must
way
have
now.
quite a
We
developed
want this in the
culture.
Foundry.
Let's take some readings up
Just
there.
give us all
Yeah.
this. All this space.
This is a very cool looking map, and very cool looking objects.
The architectural style used for this is also something very unique that we do not yet possess in the Foundry.
I really like this architecture.
And this may be part of the foreshadowing that we may, I don't know, maybe meet this race or
They
something.
might tell us more about this place.
Yeah.
The ones that are all dead.
Yep.
Maybe they're not.
Well,
all
maybe
dead.
time travel. Time travel. Because we don't quite know what happened. Like, why were they doing this?
What are the
Well,
crystals?
we
we do get an idea as to when this happened, though.
Yeah. Well, 23rd century time travel. It's
Which
not...
we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit here.
Oh yeah.
These murals depict people bringing some objects to this place. Crystals or gems, I believe. They built their settlement around this site. I believe it was a place of great significance to them. The next mural may hold more clues for us. Let's have a look.
Right. Let's check the next mural.
This door. I want this door in the Foundry.
This mural depicts the construction of this large
an
structure.
individual
Especially if we have the
mural
ability to
Suspected
animate
as a
it.
temple or place of contemplation for the people. The crystals were revered
the
by
big
the
rocks.
locals, perhaps even worshipped by them. We'd better have a look at the next mural, don't you think?
The spiky plaza things. Yes, let's examine the next mural. One spiky plaza.
Oh, I am so examining this
The
mural.
crystals depicted in this mural appear to be growing for some
You
reason.
examined the hell out of that
I wonder
mural.
if this is a symbolic.
One thing
literal
I noted when
representation
I
of
did this
events. Perhaps the structure
was
needed
that
to be modified to
when
hold
you
the
do the little
volume of crystals they collected
symbol
over the
matching
years.
thing, it's does them in a specific order, and I wonder if the
Quite
pictures
the
you
enigma we
create
found here. I
have
suspect
a
there's more to be found
significance
inside.
based on the order that
Getting
you
there will be a challenge, however. According to
make
my
them
scans,
in.
these pillars are
Maybe,
connected
but we'll
some
get to that in
kind
just a
of
second here.
massive
The crystals may have
mechanical
grown to the
structure.
neutral,
Probably
the natural means as well.
technology for these people. I believe it's some kind of opening mechanism for the structure's door.
Can we open it by deploying some kind of device or using our tricorders? Because that's what they always did on the show.
No,
could
we can't.
probably
Yep.
force it open,
No,
but
tricorders for
that
once
could
don't do
damage the
anything.
structure, and too much force could even collapse it entirely.
We just have to hit it
I
with
suggest
the
we
third
create
blast from our Zat
holographic
Nicotels.
forensic reconstruction.
The holographic forensic reconstruction is something that I think has
Yes,
led
it would be
many
based on
archaeologists in
analysis
this
of
time
things
to
like
drink. It's
footprints,
like, we're
wear
not
patterns,
needed
and
anymore.
reconstruction.
You can just view
We
them.
can learn what people did
We just got to
here,
scan a
how
few
they lived
things
their
and then we
lives,
can look at
and
everything
how
like it
they
was.
made the device work.
Well,
We'll be watching
see,
these
it takes a
history,
skilled
roughly
archaeologist
speaking.
to program
Let's start by
the
gathering information from
holographic
relics
reconstruction,
and leftover
though.
traces
It only
of the
takes
people
one,
who
though. Then
once
you just
lived
keep
here.
using it.
Let's look for old tools, footprints, anything that could tell us about them.
These artifacts were used with opposable thumbs and indicate a
likely hand span of 22 centimeters. I'm not entirely sure what that's supposed to mean.
For Americans, we're not supposed to know what centimeters is.
Yeah, it's basically that they're about us
should be
sized.
covered with dust and sand, worn away by time and wind.
And they don't have
All
tentacles.
uncovered. No organic matter left, and everything left behind in its place, frozen in time, like
These people
Like
died
these
recently.
people died.
yes. The evidence seems clear. The proto-matter detonation.
I just
happened
find it funny with that
only
line that
perhaps
it's
a
waiting for you to
dozen.
interrupt.
We're going to need to make an accurate simulation to continue our studies here. I suggest using modified pattern enhancers to do this.
Agreed. We'll set up the pattern enhancers in this plaza.
Yeah, this is the part where I was talking about having 4 people makes it faster.
It would.
Enhancers
Yeah, this part.
online.
It can make it a
Down,
lot slower for the
that's
next part.
3. One more and we'll be ready. That's the
Only
last
if you push
one.
the buttons
All
and they're on
enhancers
fire.
online and standing by.
All it takes is one.
All right. The enhancers should give us a pretty good image range. Your tricorder can then act as the
Right,
center
since
of
Dragoon is our
network control
cameraman,
for
we'll
the
have him do
enhancers.
the.
I can tie in my
All the
data
work.
to your tricorder whenever you're ready. Get a little closer to the center of the square so we can see what happens.
Yeah, see, when I look at this, I see this blue cloud, and if I'm close enough to one of the holographic
Note that the
aliens, I
alien
can
is using
look at the
pillars in a
holographic alien,
specific order.
and the only other thing I can see is the sky, and that's only if I pan up.
I'm taking a look at these guys' heads. That's not a hat.
Yes.
That's actually
It's kinda
their
looking at it,
their
too.
cranium. They've got a new head model,
They're
and I
making the
want
murals
that.
match up on
It's
each
very cool
pillar.
looking.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think that's a new head model. I think we could do that with the current Foundry assets.
No. We can't do
It's
that.
got these like different kind of spikes on the top.
And if you look on the side too, they've got this really exaggerated chin. The nose detail is completely new, and they've got head spikes to a little bit to the back and to the side as well. That's-
Yeah, I
it-
get what you mean now.
And it's all integrated into the skull. It's not something that's sort of overlaid parts. So
Looks like some kind of
that could be
functional
really useful for me.
We
And you know,
unlock
my
the door by
first impression
turning
was like
murals
the
on
day
the
ones,
pillars.
but I don't
The
think
top
they are.
mural on each pillar seems
No,
to
the
be
day
in
ones
its
were,
own
all to be
place
day
for
one.
reference.
Yeah, the day ones
We
were.
should follow the order they used
Oh,
on the
can't
pillar
quite describe them.
murals.
They sort of almost
If
seem
we can turn them
semi-arthropod-like.
correctly,
So
I believe we'll
Well,
unlock the door.
Also, that they had rounded heads. They didn't have
Yeah.
pointy things.
big rounded heads.
Ooh,
So
I know what the day ones reminded me of. E.T.
Something I noticed that is the pattern is different every time.
Oh, is it? I
Oh,
hope
we
you're
have to
paying attention.
Oh, we can replay it. Because I didn't realize it was the pattern. It's like, oh yeah, we got to match up the things. It's like, oh, I totally screwed this up.
No, I was paying attention.
I wasn't.
You hear that? That's
I'm an
the
all-powerful
first pillar set in
sphere
place.
builder. I don't have to pay attention.
I will things to happen, and they do.
I'm a transdimensional being.
Well, this character, actually, this one is a little over 4.6 million years old, so.
That's
It's
two
not a
pillars set
competition.
into place.
See, because one of them is this like a vertical ovoid shape that it looks like the
Three
object
pillars
that
are
you see
locked
the
in.
humanoid holding in the one picture.
Yeah,
It's a
so
Because if
crystal.
you look closely, yeah, whether it's a larger version or not, I don't know.
I think she
Yeah.
mentioned something about the crystals growing.
yeah. So I think there's
Oh.
like two crystals, the...
Cutscene.
See, there's the orange one with the six-pointed
Oh, hold on,
star
hold
in the center.
It's the shock moment. Shock moment.
That's it.
That was a
it's
great reveal, I
working.
gotta say.
Well done.
Oh, yeah.
Shall we see what secrets this building holds? I think I see another mural inside the
Yeah,
door.
let's go
We
look
should
at the
take a
next
look
mural.
at it.
Okay, first before we do that, one thing I would like to mention is the fourth symbol. I mean, because we have the person holding the crystal. We have what looks like an orange crystal with a dark colored crystal in the middle of it. The fourth symbol, though, looks like the small crystal, like it elongated and started emitting energy waves or something.
Yeah, so there might be that progression. So this is 1, this is 2 over here.
Yeah.
3, then 4.
Yeah.
If we're talking about order, they started here.
Yeah, so
Then
I
went
think
over
it's just a
to-
progression.
Here, then here, then finally here.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely different than the order that I did it in last time. Last time I did it, it was the orange thingy, the brown thingy, the humanoid, and then the fourth symbol thingy over here.
Yeah. So there
Also,
could
one
be...
thing I noticed
There's
about
not quite an order to it.
Yeah,
so-
I guess not. The fourth symbol, though, you take a close look at that, and then you come look at the wall on the inside here. Another thing
Wait.
I noticed is that if you
That
look closely
icon.
at the murals in here,
That's the symbol of
the
Starfleet.
murals
How could it be
on the left
here,
and the
in a
right
Bronze
side are
Age
different.
temple far from the Federation?
Did you guys see the
This is
mural
strange about
that's
the minute.
over the
We
inside
should
of the
search
door?
the temple for more murals.
Yeah.
I didn't look at that last
I
time.
may have missed that one.
That's quite interesting.
Well, what I was getting at though is that when you see you have this mural next to the stairs. On the one side, it has that dark ovoid thing on the top, but if you look at the other side, it has a six-pointed star.
I have a really bad feeling about what we're breeding.
Those people in the picture, they don't look
I
like
told
the
you that
others.
at one point it was made of LSD.
Is it possible that Starfleet contacted
Starfleet.
these people in the 23rd
But they're,
century?
You know,
If so,
in
why would
pastels
they
and
keep
primary
such a thing
colors.
secret?
This is just
Which is to head
every
deeper into
character
the
here
temple
just
and
has an
continue our search.
exasperated sigh. Like, these jerks keep screwing up time.
The panel on the wall.
Well, one thing
Push
to
open
notice
something.
is that when you look at these insets on the side walls, if you look at the top, there's a six-pointed star at the top.
Those inner doors across from the
Ooh,
panel
that's a new
are
animation.
opening.
The pushing
Oh
animation.
yeah, that.
The one note I'll have to make for the next room is that there was one movie that came to mind when we were walking in here. And I was just glad that we didn't walk back out with, say, a small little egg raised in our bedroom and then named it Trumpy.
Well, see,
They're the
this
pod
is one-
people! Pod people.
I made a comment on the forum that this protomatter explosion may have been attempting to do some sort of a transformation on the planet, because when you look at these rocks,
According to my tricorder, we've
They're
reached
eggs.
ground zero.
You know they're eggs.
This is where someone
they're,
detonated
you know,
protomatter bomb.
all the same shape.
Here,
Like
a
the
self-propagating
protomatter
cascade
explosion
of
was trying to make
proton
something.
radiated
Yeah,
out in all directions.
I think we can
washing
talk
over the
about
entire
overall speculation later, maybe at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on, not ready to leave yet. Want to look at one thing quick. There's a small mural inset on the inside of the door, which is just a smaller version of the one that you have on the sides of the wall. So never mind.
You know what it reminded me of? This is going way back, but the Jetsons movie.
Oh.
Where George is asked to run a mining colony of some kind.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Turns out
he's
there's life forms there.
yeah, he's taking a bunch of rocks out of an asteroid and making them into sprockets.
Yeah.
And at first they're having this issue with the
Oh crap. Oh crap. I'm
What
out
is
of
it with
map.
us tonight and spawning in walls?
I don't know. These maps, like, I guess Cryptic didn't try playing this with multiple teams. Oh, you know why? It's because this is a 3-person away mission.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it only has
try
three
beaming out
spawn-
and beaming back in.
Yeah.
But in any case, obviously we have discovered K-13.
Says
in orbit
Deep
of
Space
this planet.
K-13. Captain, this station was lost over 100 years ago.
Consider their living content. You're a trespass. I'm claiming this station as salvage, along with everything in it. A little piece of history like this will be quite the vacation site. Experience life on the final frontier at Modron's K-13. But I digress. Unless you're here to discuss leasing opportunities, I suggest you beam off my station.
I like how you we're talking to the comm panel, and you don't see Modron's face.
Very TOS.
It'd be a shame if something happened to you.
I've got to go fly over to 20 Draconis.
Fair warning. My Gnostic gods aren't very fond of intruders.
Oops, Mark, did it put you in the wall too?
There's someone
Yeah.
else down there with me.
Well, Drogon,
I
this is
noticed
just
something
you and I.
interesting.
At least the cameraman didn't get put into a wall. That's all that matters.
I noticed something interesting. It automatically beams me back whenever I fall off.
No, you stay in the wall.
We were going to show off the bridge of my sphere builder ship, but unfortunately it kept spawning them in the wall when they tried to join me on the bridge.
And I gotta put my tray back in order.
Maybe if you move away from the spawn point, and it'll let me.
In the meantime, check this out. The coolest thing from this update, the Lobi ground weapon for the spear builders is the Gould hen device.
I said it was the Iron Man blaster too.
Also that.
All of these things and more.
I think it reminds
Pull away,
me
team.
of the weapon of choice of Ming the Merciless. Because let's face it, Ming the Merciless liked his weapons to be small and discreet.
There's a number of RP options that one could do using that weapon.
Nice and joint command. Assemble.
Ooh, this is fun.
You're attacking.
Yeah, that's the thing I've noticed on this particular map is the bridge officers tend to like to attack through walls and aggro through walls.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm walking around under the floor, and I just crashed.
You still watch on the stream?
Yeah, I can see what you're doing.
I forgot the other thing. This update seems to have reset my auto attack settings. I have to go change those back.
General, this technology is ancient but surprisingly functional, at least at a rudimentary level. They built these things to last in the 23rd century. Nausicaans managed to get partial power online, but they didn't in a hurry. It could go down at any moment. In the meantime, I've managed to drop those security fields. We can access other parts of the station now.
And by the way, this is the new fleet holding map.
There are some log files on the computer as well. Most of them are garbled, but I believe I can restore the last entry. Let's hear it.
Chief Engineer's Log. Supplemental. By my account, we've been hurled back in time to the 16th century. To make matters worse, we're a very long way from the Deneva system. None of our shuttles are warp capable, and even if we could get to Earth, we'd be in the wrong time. In short, we're stuck. There's nothing to do now but wait and try to conjure up a way to get back to the right time.
Exit log.
This computer's lost the ability to link to the main computer, but with the security fields down, we can get into the other lab. From there, we may be able to get into the main computer and lock the Nausicaans out. That will keep them from bringing the field back online or using the station to stop us.
Let's see what we can find in the other lab.
Trespassing are quite severe.
Yay! I spawned someplace that's not underneath the floor. Oh wait, it's at the other lab.
Engineer's Log. March 18th.
This is going to be entertaining.
Had a discussion this morning.
We'll be there in a second.
Our Klingon prisoners at Brig. We can't just leave them locked up, or execute them, or exile them on the planet below. Setting them free isn't a popular notion either. We're still looking for options, but I think the stasis pods we have in medical will come in handy real soon.
And lock out the computer. I'm locking the Nausicaans out of the computer. That will keep them from taking over any more of the station subsystems. There's another log entry. Play it.
April 17th, 1570. Today we visited the planet we're calling Draconis 3 to collect supplies. The good news, there's a humanoid civilization down there. The bad news, a potential Prime Directive violation. Our landing party was seen beaming in by some of the locals. We're hoping that doesn't impact their culture in any way. One thing's for sure, they can't help us go home. Their tech level is Bronze Age at best.
Admiral, the station's so old and badly damaged that most of the security systems don't work anymore. However, if we can take over the central hub, we can lock down and keep the Nausicaans from bringing anyone else over.
Acknowledge. Let's secure the central hub.
Trying my patience is going to cost you dearly.
Yeah, and getting in my way means I'm going to shoot you.
What do you think we are, the Federation? Shoot to kill.
In case you noticed, this weapon does not have a stun setting.
In case you didn't notice, I can make fire. Fire does not stun, it just burns.
I have many, many powers.
Oh, I
Are we
love that.
fighting?
Just toss a cryo grenade. More Nausicaans.
Hey, there's a button over here.
Push the button.
Supplemental log.
Auxiliary power is coming up now, activating a low-level scattering field that will prevent the Noskins from beaming over reinforcement. Anything else? I found one last log entry in here, Admiral. Afraid the rest of the computer's memory is heavily corrupted. Put it on screen.
Chief Engineer's log, July 26, 1571. Most of us went into stasis this morning. There weren't enough pods for everyone. 3 of us had to stay awake. We drew lots. Devon, Sheridan, and I were the lucky winners. Since we're out of options, we've decided to go naked, live out our lives under Conus 3. Hopefully.
Look at her face.
Ugh.
And the people of Station
I didn't notice that before.
Yeah.
I think they added the scar.
They did. Just so you guys know, my bridge officers went and killed Madron.
Rule of acquisition 431.
Good.
When the shooting starts,
He'll just
mercenaries handle
respond, but
it.
still.
They killed him!
Captain.
I'd heard that
They're not
that was
stopped by
possible.
walls and doors.
What was him? He's got those unique shoes. Just saw a body laying there.
Crime is trespassing.
Poor Nautican.
He
He didn't even see it coming.
Admiral, we need you back on the ship right away. Madron and his Nautican allies are moving to intercept us and the Concordium.
Beam up.
Concordance would have sounded...
Well, see, it's different from yours then, so you got nothing to worry about.
Slightly.
See, the problem with using words is that Cryptic may also use
I
words.
see you took out the
They keep
numbers
using the same words,
organization.
though. I mean, their leader's an administrator. They're using the same typeface.
I do hope you're good for it. Otherwise,
The forehead
I
and
might
nose
have
are
to
as
take
close as you can get
possession of
without
that
actually
pretty
being what I
ship of
used.
yours. Come to think of it,
Like, damn it, what can I do to stay unique?
whether you're alive or not when I do is up to you.
Don't make me retcon.
Oh, I see.
You're welcome to try Diamond, but results. Yeah, you're going to get results. Oh boy, are you getting results?
First time I've actually used the ship in combat.
Oh, it's not the first time I've used this ship in combat.
Those cost me more than your work.
Who did not bring my shield in combat?
I'm grinning them back.
Get out of here! Maximum warp!
Turn rate's a tad sluggish. Of course, I don't have an RCS thing on this yet.
Greedy and treacherous. I never thought he was willing to kill to get what he wants.
Are you running pilot spec? That helps turn rate a lot.
I feel like I've learned so much out here, and for the better.
It's often like this, Captain. Dangerous, but also filled with discover. Battle.
Indeed. I'd say our first flight was a success. Now we need to share our discoveries with everyone back home. I hope today's events will convince my people of the continued need to explore and to be part of the galactic community. With luck, we'll do this again sometime, and soon. On behalf of the Lucari people, thank you.
You're
Welcome, Captain. Safe travels.
I'd say that these events are better described as harrowing. Zenkethavi have been quiet for years. Now they're using protomatter bombs to committing genocide. There's also the problem of K-13. How did it get here? I'll put a call out to insert fleet name here to send repair teams. The fleet can take command of the piece of history. All stations have reported in. We can depart on your orders.
Depart system.
Yeah.
Actually, all four
I
of us
crashed
are
again.
here, so that would say a different thing.
You know what? That's the first time I've actually had it crash on the space map.
So obviously there's some bugs to work out with this mission. But on the whole, I think it's a pretty good one.
Yeah. It's definitely more of an introductory mission.
Mm-hmm.
So the finales are always the exciting ones.
Kill some people. Set up.
Yeah. Now, did anyone actually look up who the Zinkenthi are?
Earlier,
Of course.
yes. They're a race that was name dropped 2 or 3 times and never actually seen.
At some point, they had a little war with the Federation that Captain Sisko served in.
Oh.
They mentioned that they are somewhere in the Alpha Quadrant, but beyond that,
nobody's ever seen what they look like.
Although they're
I mean, viewers haven't, obviously.
Yeah.
In universe, it's not that.
Yeah. So then the question is, what the protomatter is going to be doing? Because we know, it's the only association we have with that is the Genesis device. It had large egg-like structures, and that engineer did have the big scratch marks on her face during that last transmission.
You're wondering how she got them?
Yeah, it's either going to be something completely mundane, or she got scratched by an alien protomatter baby.
Okay, so timing-wise,
no,
I've got to clear something out. So K-13 was sent back into about the 16th century. And the protomatter bomb only happened days or a couple weeks ago. So there's a huge gap of time.
Were they growing protomatter babies throughout the whole time, though?
Well, we don't really know that those are the crystal things are eggs. That's conjecture, but I mean it's reasonable-ish.
They also identified the protomatter source as a Zinkenthi bomb.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think the protomatter is the weapon of mass destruction. It doesn't.
So the crystals themselves could be something different.
Yeah, that is part of the mystery. Is what are those crystals?
And it could very well be that the protomatter bomb was detonated to prevent or to destroy the crystals or whatever they are.
I guess it didn't work.
5 people begs. Trumpy.
Another interesting question here that occurred to me, anyways, is why were the natives offering those egg things to the Starfleet personnel?
Maybe they thought they were gods.
Yeah. Well, but they were treating the egg things as if they had some sort of immense value.
Everyone prays to the eggs, and then they cause things to happen.
So the other big theory I hear bandied around is that the crystals are dilithium crystals.
That would be easy to detect, though.
True, but they never say anything about the crystals, even after we see the cavern.
So maybe the crew of K-13 was trying to construct a warp engine.
Well, they actually in the logs
because they didn't have one with them.
They mentioned an experiment involving a warp sled.
Yeah, warp sled. I did remember seeing that.
Pull up memory alpha. See.
Which I assume is some sort of way to essentially push the station into warp.
Yeah, I think that was probably the idea. Although all that would have done is got him back to Fed space. So that's going to be
16th century.
In the 16th century.
There was no Federation.
So according to
that would only limited use.
According to Memory Beta, a warp sled is a device attached to a shuttlecraft to permit them to travel at warp speed.
Shuttlecraft. Okay.
Okay, so do you guys remember the motion picture and the Vulcan shuttle that brings Spock to the Enterprise?
Oh, that's
and how it detaches from its engines.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Apparently, that's an example of a warp sled.
Yeah, there you go. So I think the foreshadowing that we could possibly see from this episode, first is the Zinkenthi being a threat. May have to go investigate that. And the other one is the crystals. And the third being the Lucari. Are we going to do more missions with them?
Well, that's a definite fitting. Yes, we know that the anniversary episode.
Oh, that's right. Because
has something to do with them.
Because we've been voting on designs for a Lucari ship, haven't we?
So
okay, I have to check out what the Nausicaan Energy Lance ground weapon looks like.
It's actually one of their
Yeah, it's something that's been on the NPCs for quite a while.
It's relatively
that's
low
what I
res
thought.
too, compared to other things. So it really looks like they may have done a little touch up, possibly, but it looks like one of those things where it's just like, yay, we got this in the game. Now let's give it to players.
Yeah. Okay.
But it looks pretty cool, especially for someone who likes giant blades.
So Pax brings up an interesting point: is why didn't Captain Walker or Daniels try to rescue the crew of K-13? Because obviously Daniels was there when it disappeared into time. Captain Walker always just randomly shows up to try and fix things. Jury's out on whether he actually does.
We don't know if they've shown up yet, because we don't know what happened to the crew on the planet, and if we're going to do anything involved.
There were 3 crew members that ended up on the planet, and we don't know what they.
And everyone else apparently is fine in
engineers.
stasis. So
they've
just moved in time, bringing us over here for investigation.
Well, maybe because they knew that we would show up. That's why Daniels and Walker didn't intervene.
Yeah. So they may have intervened before if we show up in the past in a future episode.
I mean, obviously, there's plenty of examples in Star Trek of the crew time traveling and temporal investigations not showing up to stop them.
Yeah, they're basically hands off. Like, we'll worry about this when they get back.
Probably because there's certain levels of time travel incidents, and if you're level 5.
Travel. Well, one thing I mentioned earlier is that certain of the dialogue options are drastically different if you are playing as a temporal recruit, Agents of Yesterday character.
Yeah, I've been meaning to try
that. More specifically, when you first get there and your bridge officers are like, oh, hey, this is K-13, you're like, yeah, I know exactly what happened to that. I was there to see it.
Like, what, sir? Nothing. I'm not from the past. Carry on with your tricorder things.
Well, one thing to remember is that as a TOS character, some of your bridge officers were there too.
Some, but they don't know which ones, though.
Yeah, it'd be impossible.
This is true, but it's I don't know. It was a neat.
It's one of those little details that, I had something that I was thinking about saying. I forget what it was now.
I was just going to make the joke that if I ever make another TOS character, it's going to use the handlebar mustache that we've got, and it's going to be a 17th century character who goes forward in time to the 23rd century in very almost identical circumstances to how they'd later go forward to the 25th century. It just keeps getting shifted forward after having a heroic last stand one after another. It's like, God, can't I just stay in one place?
I think maybe like story-wise, as far as the Agents of Yesterday going, I mean, once the temporal Cold War breaks out, I think maybe we can assume that everybody that you tell people,
But how many people know about the temporal Cold War, though? Because we were just working with Daniels and Walker, not the main command people.
Well, presumably your bridge officers that you do such interesting things as storming a Delphic expanse sphere with know the nature of the temporal Cold War.
Okay. So your crew,
so they do go with you on
with
the
your
missions.
crew. You sit them down. You say, "Hey, I'm going to level with you guys. I'm a couple 100 years old."
Not me. Yeah,
but sort of.
Yeah,
but only sort of.
It's okay. It's okay. I've just been lying to you all this time. My name is actually this famous war hero, and yeah.
I didn't die when you thought I died.
Actually, one of the
books
more
are long.
amusing things is that your character isn't actually a particularly famous war hero. They're someone who got remembered for their sacrifice, but in the grand scheme of things, it was apparently a minor.
Everyone else took the credit. It's like, oh yeah, they went down early. It was so tragic, but yeah, we totally killed the 37 Klingon warbirds.
That would be a funny joke to put in a. So I've been thinking a little bit about like a series of Foundry missions based on you being an agent of yesterday. So basically, you do kind of what Daniels was doing a little bit and send the player to different times. And, obviously that could be a great joke of, you revealing yourself to somebody and they say, who?
Yeah,
but surely I'm a famous
this...
war hero, right? I had this sacrifice, right?
Yeah, no, and then
sorry,
it's just like,
I just,
oh yeah, the Admiral guy
that
totally
battle
took
was in
credit.
our textbook, yeah, but it was like 3 paragraphs.
Yeah, they didn't even bother to mention the specific names. They just mentioned that there was a ship lost in the battle with all hands. We don't actually know which ship.
Yeah, no one bothered to write it down. But I still like the idea that the Admiral that Admiral what's his face? He takes all the credit. Gardner. He takes all the credit for it.
Oh, it's Garrett. I'm sorry, it's Admiral Garrett.
Garrett.
Garrett, yeah.
And then you start, you have that NPC start going off about how Admiral Garrett is like the best commander ever and is a huge hero. And oh yeah, it's my inspiration for joining Starfleet. Like,
he even boarded a Thorian ship once.
Went on to become president of the Federation.
And he takes credit for all of your heroic stuff.
He's got a statue on Mars.
You told him about the statue? Anyway, we're diverting off of this particular mission quite a lot. So overall, what do you guys think? Good mission?
I like it.
Oh yeah,
give it a B.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
I would definitely like to go back to that planet for a few more archaeological expeditions because I have to wonder what other interesting artifacts we would find exploring the rest of the remains of their civilization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was definitely the strongest part of the mission.
Yeah, I think he gets weak with the confrontation with Madron.
Yeah.
Especially just kind of the ending battles, those sort of didn't feel quite as satisfying as they could be. Especially that space combat.
Yeah, it almost felt like there was a battle there just to have a battle.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, with Madron, pretty much every single time we've encountered him in the game, we've shot him or shot at him anyway.
Like, the one thing I would have done there instead is that you could have Madron there, but they did sort of mention that a bunch of species were trying to make claim on it. The Breen are right here. So, like a multi-way fight between you, the Breen, Lucari, and then the helping you out, and then the Gnosticans with Madron. That's the way I would have gone on this one.
One rather interesting thing they've mentioned in Stowe's lore about the Breen is that the Breen have been taking a very neutral stance in almost everything. They don't want to provoke the Federation to go into war with them, which is the entire reason why you have that thought going to so much trouble to act outside the authority of his government in attempting to secure the Preserver archive.
Egg.
Yeah, so I mean, we obviously the Breen are around, so you could involve them if you wanted to. Obviously, the Zenkethi are, as we know from Deep Space Nine, an Alpha Quadrant species, and in fact, the Zenketh system is on our map as well. It's not far from the Nakul system, actually.
In fact, they have their own sector.
The Lucari have mentioned that they have met the Zenkethi.
Did they mention that?
Lucari actually have diplomatic contact with the Zenkethi. The nature of this contact seems to be something along the lines of, stay away from our space or we'll kill you, but, you know.
So I'm going to be very interested to see what Cryptic does with the Zenkethi as far as looks go.
Yeah. I'm looking at their star system right now, and there's actually a sort of area in yellow sort of plotted around that.
Yeah. Zenkethi space.
Which actually, if you look at the area in yellow, there's something that appears to be another major star system.
Yeah.
Back when I was doing some of my very first Foundry missions, I wanted to involve the Zenkethi. And there's precious little canon information about them. And in fact, the only note on Memory Alpha is that the original writer of the episode imagined them as, quote, heavily armed lizard things.
Armored, not armed.
Armored. You're right. Correct. Armored lizard things. So we'll see if Cryptic takes anything from that. I believe they have appeared in some of the novels, and they've been described quite a bit more.
Ooh, one thing that's very amusing to me is that when you go into the Sigma Draconis system for the fleet base, you get to play asteroids.
Yeah, I noticed that. It was kind of a neat touch, and that's presumably going to change as you sort of upgrade the system a bit.
But it's so much fun. Why would you want to get rid of them?
Because some of them go right for the station.
Well, I meant not from a in-universe perspective, I meant from an out-of-universe perspective. It's just fun blowing the things up. Besides, deflector shields, right?
Does it have any? It's made quite a lot.
Well, we can
that's the first thing
retrofit it
you
to have
repair.
deflector shields.
We'll be slowly upgrading our fleet stations as we go and unlocking cool rewards and such. But in any case, obviously that's new content.
I was just going to make...
Anybody else have anything to say?
Sovereign class.
Ah, yes. We got the new model implemented for our T5 versions. We believe there is a T6 version on the way, possibly due through a one of the Starfleet, was it Attack Wing? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
There's two versions coming. So one was unveiled through Starfleet Attack Wings. That is a command version of the Sovereign class. There's also an Intel version coming, and that was unintentionally unveiled through an in-game glitch that Loot Critter found.
Yeah.
So there appears to be several ways you can pick up a Sovereign class coming in the future, but Cryptic will likely have all the information on releases and stuff like that. So for now, though, if you want the updated Sovereign class, you can use either the Tier 5 or the Tier 5U or the Region class. Oh yeah, you can use the Sovereign class refit, which is that region from the C-Store, or the standard Tier 5 from Leveling. And both of those will now be sporting the updated model.
Or the mirror.
Or the mirror, that too.
Which, of course, cannot be upgraded to T5U, but...
Yeah, the Region class can.
I'm sure the
also
fleet can.
Oh yeah, I've already got that.
Yeah.
That's the one I've got. But it's in the vein of all their recent updates for the ships. It is as far near as canon as I can make out. It very nicely detailed, very nicely proportioned, very nicely lit too. They've got some pretty nice lighting effects. So the updated Sovereign class is out now, and it is a beautiful ship.
It very much is. Speaking of Loot Critter, I believe he's working on, if he hasn't already released it, a review of the featured episode. Pax Federatica also has one of that, so I'm sure we will include those in the show notes. And I believe Timberwolf also has a video playthrough.
Yep.
Let's give a shout out to all of the friends of the roundtable.
Yay!
And I guess we will continue waiting out the downtime. I believe next week we plan to do a live play of one of our classic Trek game live plays of Star Trek Armada, assuming Dragoon can get it all working.
Yes, it's still working on it. I'm hopeful.
Still working on that. All right.
I've got it sort of working. It's just some things like some of the special effects aren't working properly, and the resolution is pretty low at the moment.
Well, I that's par for the course. But anyway, obviously we're still waiting through the Foundry downtime. For those of you who are new to the Foundry, we have a foundational Foundry episode all about downtime, which you can access through the link that Dragoon will put on the YouTube version.
Put it up.
But for now, we will say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.